20? Why 20 minutes? It should be 10.
The session length is the same as Project Cars. 2 10-minute qualies, a 20-minute practice, and an hour's race. We do 2 half-an-hour races, so arguably the length is the same as Project Cars. It's just you and me. You get it now, Dan, don't you? You get it now.
No, it's just an hour of constantly talking about a shit game. It's too many Bentleys as well. I don't like the number of Bentleys.
There's 3. There's 4 now. There's 4 now. So reserve drivers in.
There's too many.
Shut up, you. Here's one of the Lamborghinis. Where's Jamie?
This is fucking jog turd.
Where's your dad, actually? That's another one. Where's your dad? He's here now. That's 14 out of the 18 in who we're missing. Keeves, Dean, Smokey, and... Fuck, I'm trying to think who the other one is. Who's the other guy? Monkey, are we missing here off this list?
I don't know. Who you got?
Jamie. And is Forzy? Yeah, Forzy's in. So Gavlar's in. I'm in. PN's in. Is PN in?
Yeah, PN's in.
Mazda's in. Emo's in. Monkey's in. Joe's in. Joe, are you in? Yep, Joe's in. Mike's in. Fury's in. Disco's in. Welsh is in. Bossoff's in. Gavlar's in. Forzy in. Dean, Jamie,
Max,
Dean, Jamie, Smokey, and Keats.
I have a very, very warm orange juice now. Shut up, Keegs. Are you joining the sessions, Keegan?
No.
You're not racing then?
No. I'm on the game, but you know, I can't be fucked.
Fucking hell, I nearly died!
Still cops, isn't it?
It's too hot.
Don't slow.
Here's Keats.
Matt, have you got my stream? Bye. No, not bye yet. I'm gonna start chatting a couple of minutes. I'm gonna start chatting at about 18 minutes exactly. Alright, bye. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport. My name is Dan Davis, also known as Arnold for Dubs, and welcome for another round here of the ACC League that we have running here at Simplay Motorsport. And on track, we are here at the Hungaroring for round 2 in Hungary for the next round of the season. And what a season we have ahead of us this season, as we got some amazing drivers on the grid. We had a fantastic round at Silverstone, and we carry on through into the Hungaroring. So first things first, I want to say good evening and welcome everybody in the chat. Currently in the midst of trying to sort my YouTube out so that I can see all you lovely people in the chat. And let's hear from you guys. Let's hear from everybody in the chat. Let's get your opinions and thoughts here tonight. And more importantly, we're back here once again for one more time to hear the fantastic noise of this car right here, the Aston Martin. We can't wait to hear that car back out on track. But I hope we're all doing well. I hope we're all staying safe as well. And a very, very hot UK right now. I'm pretty sure Europe as well, with this heat wave that's lingering around. Everyone's got to remember to stay hydrated, as does the drivers as well. So make sure all you boys are on track and making sure you're getting a drink as well. It's going to be a long race here tonight at the Hungaroring. Finally, slowly getting my stream up and running. So have a quick run of the grid. We're currently in the middle of a practice session. Actually, first things first, let's actually discuss the circuit. The Hungaroring here in Hungary, Budapest, and normally the race that we end the first half of the season in the F1s, we then go into a break, and kind of fitting as it is, we are in a bit of a break ourselves in the Project Cars Championship, and the calendar has been confirmed, as everybody can see on the display boards, as in the Discords and all that lot. They will be able to access all of that, and what a season we're going to have in a couple of weeks time. Make sure if you're not already signed up, then head over and please sign up, get involved and see what we can do with this calendar, because so far it's a bit of a mad one. I'll actually run through the calendar quickly. So we will start things off in the 28th of September. We'll start Austria Slabine, heading to Circuit of the Americas, then Catalonia for round 3, then it'll be Laguna Seca round 4, Dubai is round 5. With round 6 we head to America for Watkins Glen, back to Japan for round 7 as we go to Sekito. Round 8 we just go down south to Bathurst, Mount Panorama for round 8. Then we head to Le Mans Bugatti, sticking European for a while as we head to Silverstone GP. Then Brands Hatch will be the penultimate round of the season. Then we finish things off at the typical Simplay home of Daytona. So make sure you tune in to that, as I've now finally got the ACC tables also up on my screen as well. Once this decides to sort itself out. I actually think the tables are wrong, because they I think Mazda's been written down twice, but either way, it is this man currently out on track, Mate Imovic, who took the first win out in Silverstone. He is your championship leader, with Mazda currently in second place in the title, 5 points behind him. A very good start for Bostoff, but he's currently in the pits at the minute. He is third in the championship, with Rabbit Joe with a great start, currently P4 and P4 on track. He is in that position as well. As we then head to P5, which was this man Forzi. He had a great start, a little bit slow start of the race, but it then picked up from later on. Fury with that time penalty towards the end of the race. He is currently P6 and 6th in the standings as well. So Fury needs to find a little bit more pace. Peaceful Explosion currently P7. He's currently down in 11th place at the minute, still struggling just to find a little bit more pace in this Ferrari. Hopefully he can find a little bit later on. Sati Apex, who sadly isn't with us tonight, P8. P9 is then Monkey Boy, who's currently out on track, and he is currently P7 at this precise moment. P10 is that lovely Aston Martin of PN Motorsport. And then we head to Gavlar, who's currently P2 at the minute. He is 11th in the title, with Welshie P12 in his luscious Lamborghini for MC Motorsport. I think he's had a slight change to the livery by the looks of things there. And Smoky Devil is P13. He's currently not in the session at the minute, so we'll see if he gets in. With that Bozzy Boy currently working tonight, he will not be racing either. As we finally get for the first round tonight, it is Emo Guy currently on top of the table at the minute. He is fastest of them all at the minute. Bryn P6. P7 is Big Boy Brazier. P18 is Disco Face. P19 Dean Wasaki, and bringing up the rear is Lucas Roth. All these guys didn't able to score points. Also, Big Boy Brazier and Disco Face both carry a qualifying ban heading into this race after retiring in race 1, and that's one of the rules here at Simplay Motorsport. We want everybody to finish the session, so the rule is that if you do retire from the race, you will carry a qualifying ban into the next race, and that's the penalty that these two are going to have to accept now. So we've got a few people in the chat, and an evening to Simplay Motorsport, PN Motorsport, and Mummy D in the chat. Currently, that's everybody in there at the minute. I'm going to change my quality on my laptop because it looks a bit rubbish. But evening to all, hit that like button if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit the bell to be notified for when we are live. As the Ferrari of Disco exits the final corner. Does he improve? No, he does not. He will stay P6. But at the minute, it's the Bentley of Emo Guy leading the way currently on the number 666. As Gavlar currently in P2, and a Mazda taking up that third place spot. We see in the background a huge snake of cars, and one of them is Fury and Lucas Roth. They're all tight with Matt Imovic in the middle of it, and a Big Boy Brazier as well. All these guys very tight with one another. Lucas Roth going very wide in his Aston Martin, which we think the Aston Martin might be quite good round here. Well, that version of the Aston Martin anyway, as Keegs exits the final corner with a train of cars right behind him. And the Matt currently crossing the line. He is currently only P12 at the minute, but he's got Big Boy Brazier breathing down his neck right behind him. Let's hear you guys in the chat. Let's hear from everybody. Currently got 19 people watching, and we just want to hear from you guys. Let's see what you think of the grid tonight. Are we looking forward to Hungaroring for the next round of the championship? Matt already giving Keeks a little flash, telling him to get out of his way. And Keeks is having none of it. As well, she now hits the track as well. He's on circuit. And what can this man do in the 69, a Lamborghini? Not yet set a lap time. And a lot of these guys, just a reminder as well, they don't get a lot of time to practice. Some of these obviously still got busy lives, and obviously their Thursday night is their fun as well. She has a big slide through there, so some of these guys will be struggling ever so slightly. And the man we are waiting to see what lap times he can do is Boss Soft as well. Couple of new drivers here tonight as well. We got John William in the chat, in the session. He's another one in the Bentley. Number 87 pink Bentley. He is currently P11 at this minute. It looks like a pad user from my point of view by the looks of things there. So what can this man do in his Bentley here this evening? We've also got Dean Wasaki here tonight in the McLaren. And this McLaren is very quick in the right hands, as we got a message in the chat from SJB. Come on, Gavlar son. So he's supporting him tonight, who is currently P2 at the minute and showing a lot of good pace here at the minute. So that's nice to see. Struggled a little bit at Silverstone, but he should be looking good tonight. As he comes through the final corner now, is he going to improve on his lap time? No, he doesn't. He stays P2. Emo Guy, the man who's setting the pace at the minute. And into the pits he comes, just practicing the pit lane entry there. And we still currently got 19 people watching the stream. Guys, hit that like button. Let's get as many likes on this chat as we possibly can. Mazda back to the pits. Big Boy Brazier currently P5 at the minute in the McLaren, showing what that car can do around here. as we will get a poll up. For who will take pole position here tonight. And currently Emo at the top. Gavlar up there as well. I think, to be honest, I think some of the Bentleys might struggle here tonight. Right now, Big Boy Brazier right on the back of Lucas Roth at this stage. Can he find a way past? Let's try and get a bit more time. At this minute, he's just stuck behind that Aston Martin. Bien still not out on track. Matt still struggling to get a good lap time under his belt. 3 seconds currently off the pace, so he's struggling at the minute, is Matahimovic. But surely he's probably hiding his true pace at this stage. As he goes through turn 1, and we'll just stay on board with Matt for a lap, the current championship leader, as we go into turn 2. Very weird corner, it's a bit of a weird hairpin, very, very long. And go through a turn 3. Into a turn 4 we go. Very quick left-hander. And then heading towards turn 5. You can see now he's getting in the traffic of Lucas Roth. Turn 5. He's just on the inside trying to stick as close as he can. Heading towards the chicane of 7 and 8. And the curbs here seem to be a little bit rough here compared to the F1 game. He gets it relatively clean through 7 and 8 towards 9. And this whole section is very patient. You really have to take your time through 9 into 10. Towards 11 we go. And Matt all over the back of Lucas Roth. Heading towards turn 12. Another weird, long, quick right-hander. And he's really starting to push that Bentley as hard as he can. But he's got an Aston Martin in the way. Down towards 13. Again, another weird right-hander. Really difficult to get a good run out the corner. And then heading towards 13 and 14. As Matt gets it a little bit sideways through the hairpin and then into the final corner with the Aston Martin right in his way. And will he improve on 12th place at the minute? Lucas Roth still yet to put a lap time together. Towards the line they come. And does Keegs put a lap time in? He does. And he goes P13. Matt, though, goes P6. And he's trying to clear that Aston Martin, but Keegs is not making it easy for himself. But at the minute, Evil Scotsman in the chat, speed for yourself down. The Bentley feels good here. As Emo Guy is top of the table, that is him in the chat. Gavlar currently P2 with Mazda P3 at the minute. The Porsche 911 of Rabbit Joe is still in that P4 position, looking good there. As Big Boy Brazier struggling just to find a little bit more pace. He just needs to find 700s and he'll be able to get ahead of Rabbit Joe. Matimovic back into the pits, hopefully trying to get some clean air. Disco McDisco Face P7 at the minute. Fury P8 in the Lamborghini. And in P9, only a couple hundreds behind him is Monkey Boy with Forzi currently in P10. And through the chicane he goes, and listen to that beautiful Porsche as it goes through the chicane. P11 currently peaceful at the minute. Trying to find a few tenths here and there. John currently in P12. Again, it's all about just staying on track, I think, for this hour race. It's going to be a long, long race. Anything can happen. Lucas Roth currently 13, Welshie 14. PN Motorsport still not coming out for a bit as he's P15. P16 is Dean Masaki. He's just trying to get the car set up and ready to go as Bostoff is still in the pits, yet to set a lap time, and I think he's just waiting for the qualifying session. As Mazda now goes P2 ahead of Gavlar, so he now takes the top. And I think Matt really doesn't think that I listen, because I've already mentioned that Big Boy Brazier and Disco McDisco Face are going to carry a qualifying ban into this session due to the fact that they're not completing at the last race. Same rules in Project Cars 2, it's the same rules here in these GT3s. They will be carrying that qualifying ban into this race. More than welcome to do as much practice as they like in the practice session, but they cannot set a lap time in the qualifying session. As you see Disco go through the chicane, which is quite stable through the chicane there, and then heading towards the back end of the circuit, the really tricky end of the circuit. It's all about chassis, downforce, all about having that flow through there. As currently 40% of you reckon that Gablar is going to take pole position here tonight. A reminder that the qualifying session is a 20-minute session, so they've got plenty of time to get out, get some lap times under their belts, and see who can go top of the table as Demon Socky just gets out of the way of Mazda there. And we'll do a little bit of footage with John, our new driver here. It's nice to see some new people, and if you are interested in getting involved, then head over to our Discord. That is Simplay and Motorsport Discord. Get involved with the chat that's going on all the time as well. For some reason my controller's being a bit weird. There we go. It's sorted itself out now. So yeah, have a look at the Discord, get involved in that. Head over to our Facebook page as well. Like our Facebook page, get involved in that as well. So there's currently sign-ups for the Radicals coming next week on Project Cars 2. Currently only 4 people signed up, so get yourself signed up for that, as we've got a fun season with the Radicals. Just a bit of fun, kind of the same layout as we have for the touring cars. So get involved in that, sign up for a bit of racing on there. As Monkey Boy comes towards the line, does he improve? No, he will stay P9. Just in the background is, I'm not sure who that was. Peaceful hanging it sideways through the chicane. No, I think it was number 12. It was Lucas Roth. He stayed 13th. As his dad just goes flying past him in the Lamborghini. And then the other Lamborghini of Fury comes towards the line. Does he improve? He does. He goes P4. So Fury finds a little bit more pace, and up the order he goes, with only a minute and a half left of this session to go. Dean Wasaki in his McLaren 720S. He's just getting to grips here, trying to feel the car out a little bit. After missing Silverstone, he's just trying to get into a groove in racing on this game again. As Smokey Devil has got himself into the session. As Dean Wasaki all over the curb there, just losing the rear ever so slightly. The poll will end in the middle of qualifying, so get your votes in on who you think is going to take pole position. Gablar reckon, most of you reckon he will take pole position here. As Bossoff also 33%, 6 votes currently gone out. Get your votes in, guys, or if you think it's somebody else other than the 4 above, then write it in the chat as well. Let's hear from you. As Welsh now coming into the final few corners, but it's the number 4 of Monkey Boy coming into the final corner. Can run the car a little bit wide and get great traction out the corner. Usually great for the start of the lap, as he has a little wiggle there on exit. Does he improve? No, he will stay at P10, and that is the end of the practice session for him. I think it is Welshie who is coming to the line. He does, and he doesn't improve. And then in the background, it is his fellow Lamborghini driver of Fury. Does he improve? He doesn't, but he does stay P4, so he'll be happy with that one. Then it's Peaceful just coming around the final sector now, and then it's Dean Wasaki, but I think Mike is done. Into the pits he goes. So it's just Dean Wasaki we're waiting for, but at the minute it's looking good for the Bentley of Emo Guy, top of the session. He is fastest of them all, with Mazda P2. Gablar currently P3, so it's very tight for the top 3 at the minute. As Fury, couple of tenths off them at the minute. Second and 1.2 off the fastest at this stage. As Dean is now coming to the end of his lap. As Dean now coming into the final few corners himself, and as he found a little bit more pace, as he found a little bit more time underneath him, just to pump in at least within 7 seconds, get him under 88 seconds at this minute, as he runs right up against that curve there towards the line. Does Dean Wasaki improve? He does not, and will stay P16. So that is it. No one else currently on the lap time but Smokey Devil by the looks of things. But he goes wide anyway. So we now go into the qualifying session.
Green light. Go, go, go.
And classic ACC. The lobby is terrible. And Bossoff straight away out on track. Keep an eye on this man, because I reckon he's got another quick lap time underneath him. Clear air as well. Everyone else is slowly coming out on track. What can this man do? He's got clear air. He's got a good opportunity to try and get a good lap time under his belt while everyone else is still messing around in the pits. Bossoff going into the far end of the circuit. What order we got? So it's going to be Bossoff who's going to be the first man to set a lap time. Then it's going to be Mazda. Then it's going to be Peaceful Explosion right behind him. Then we got the 66 of PN Motorsport in that lovely Aston Martin. Just let's have a moment here. Sounds like an old F1 car, that thing. And then we have Welshie, who's going to be the next man to set a lap time, and he goes very wide through the chicane, losing a little bit of time through there. Rabbit Joe, next man to come towards the line, and I feel sorry for Joe, because he normally runs the 16, but I also run the number 16. Was in the session having to go myself, and I've taken that away from him. So apologies, Joe. Forzy currently going down into turn 2, so it's going to be a while since he sets a lap time, but I think it's then Matimovic after... No, it will be Fury, then Matt after Rabbit Joe. And we have the 26 of Gavlar just going past Matt there. 28 of Forzy, and then the 87, I think that is. Yes, of John. The 720 of Dean Wasocki will then be next. But first things first, the man that's currently on a lap time at the minute is Bossoff. A 1 minute 45 is what we saw a minute ago from Emo Guy in the Bentley. What can this man do in the McLaren? And his car just looks so planted. Very, very fast. As he comes up to the left-hander now. Right over the curb, right within track limits. Good lap time from him at this minute. Careful of this inside curb, because in F1 cars it spins you around. The GTs seem to be relatively fine around there as they head now towards the chicane. Through one, into the other, and he looks so clean and planted through there. Into 9, then 10. The McLaren looks very, very planted here. Through 10, up towards 11. Really nailing every apex he is. Not leaving any space for a mistake. He goes through 11 and 12 towards 13, right on the curve there, and now into the final few corners. And Bossoff will set the early pace. What is the target? Is he going to go faster than a 1:45? Has Emo Guy got to step it up here as he comes into the final corner now? Bossoff towards the line. What is this lap time? It's a 1:44.9. Well, there you go, boys. That's the lap time to go for. What can you do? Mazda next towards the line. Has he got any answer? He does. No lap time. As Peaceful crosses the line, what does he do? He only goes into P2, quite a bit off the pace there. I believe that's a 1:48. As lap time's now coming towards the line. Rabbit Joe doesn't set a lap time. Matimovic, he's currently in the middle sector. Coming to the start of the final sector, sorry. A few guys currently crossing the line but not setting any lap times. PN, the only one to do set a lap time, and he goes P3. This is going to be very interesting. No one is really setting any lap times. All the laps are getting invalid. No one setting any lap times in a minute. There's a car off at the minute. As there we go, Gavlar puts a lap time in. He goes P2. Matimovic, he does not set a lap time either. Once again, no one's able to set the lap times. Forzy coming into the final corner now in the Porsche. Has he managed to keep a clean lap together? Little wiggle there towards the line. Forzy, he does, and he goes P4. John in the background. Towards the line he comes. Where does he go? He will go P5. So good lap under him there to put him at least ahead of PN Motorsport. As Bossoff is then the next car once again to come towards the line. So he's having a fantastic qualifying here. No one is able to get anywhere near him at this stage of qualifying. will then be Dimasaki next towards the line. Out the final corner, Bostov, does he improve and go even quicker towards the line? He does not, he will stay fastest of all though. Dimasaki has a big wiggle there. Mazda in the background. Dean, does he get a lap time on the board? No, he doesn't. Mazda towards the line, what's he gonna do? He goes P2. Peaceful Explosion, he improves a little bit as well, so he goes up a position. Rabbit Joe into the final corner. Currently P9, has he got a lap time under his belt? He does, and he goes P3 with that lap time, so good lap there from Rabbit Joe towards the line. Smoky Devil, can he get a lap time on the board? No. And then we got Welshie, who goes P8 with Emo Guy next across the line. He is now setting a lap time, so he will be on his fastest lap right now. P13, Fury, sorry, P14, but the number 13 of Fury towards the line, was he able to do? He goes P2 with that lap time. And we've got Gavlar in the background. Reckon he could go quicker again. Does he go quicker? No, he does not. Matimovic next across the line. He goes P4. Very close between him and Mazda and Fury. Very close on times there. The number 28, I think it is. Forzy coming out the corner with John right behind him. Forzy, does he improve? No. John, will he improve as well? He does, and goes ahead of Forzy, so good lap time under his belt there. As Bostov, I think, has had a lap where he's just cooled down, let the car just calm down a little bit and try and get it under his grasp here as he comes into the final few corners now. Can he extend his lead as he exits the final corner? He does improve. He was on a quicker lap, and he goes at 44.6. And there you go, boys. Get after him. Mazda, currently slower than Fury at this stage, comes towards the line now. Can he improve? He does, and goes P2 at 1 minute, at 1.2 off the fastest at this precise stage. Rabbit Joe back into the pits. Peaceful, does he improve? No, he does not. The number 4 of Monkey Boy, is he finally going to get a lap time on the belt? No, he's had a mistake somewhere. He comes off track. So we take our eyes onto Emo Guy, who goes into the final corner. The Evil Scotsman, right in the 666, exits the final corner. What can he do? Currently P12 at the minute. Where does he go? He goes P3 with Welshie just in the background, who still has got a lap time under his belt now, and he goes 11th. Smoky Devil, not able to set a lap time at this stage as all these guys are trying to find a bit more pace. Matt is in the final corner. Just ahead of him is Gavlar. He has got more pace underneath him, and he goes P3. What does Matt do? Does he improve? No, Matt is staying P6. So your championship leader is struggling at this stage. Forzy in the final corner. Can he find a couple more tenths to get ahead of John? Very good final corner there by the list of things. Towards the line. He does improve and gets ahead of John. So great competition up and down the grid at the minute, as Bostov is looking to go even quicker again. 44.6, currently fastest of anybody so far. Mazda trying everything he can to get within a couple of tenths of him. He exits the final corner. Does he improve his lap time? He does by an extra 2 tenths. And we will end the poll there, as it's even between Gavlar and Bostov, both even on 43%. Mazda currently number 7 towards the line, and he does not improve there. Fury currently the number 13 car. What can he do at this stage? He comes into the final few corners here. He's looking to improve his lap time and try and get himself a little bit higher up. But it's Emo Guy coming towards the line. A couple of cars behind him though. Keep an eye on who them are behind. Emo Guy, can he find a couple more tenths towards the line? He goes P2 at this minute. Gavlar also in that scrap as well. But it's Fury into the final corner. Number 20, I think that is Smoky Devil. 22 towards the line. Can Smoky Devil get a lap time on the board? He does. And Fury, does he go quicker? No. Smoky Devil goes P11. Gavlar with a little bit of traffic. Dimasaki there as well alongside him. He gets right out of his way, which I think it was Matimovic just behind, and he does not improve on his position. He will stay where he is for the meantime, as John now into the final corner. A reminder, Disco Big Boy Brazier both have qualifying bans, but at this minute, Dean Wasaki is not going to get a lap time on the board. As John comes towards the line, does he improve? No. So here a car revving itself up in the pits. Bostov coming into the final corner here. As Bostov does improve even faster, 1:44.1. What a lap time from him. That's the number 11, I think it is, a Peaceful coming into the final corner. Into the final corner, Peaceful Exposure, currently P7 at the minute. He'll take that as he crosses the line, and he finds a 10th. So he's finding time out there. Emo Guy in the Bentley. As Disco says, quite happy with my qualifying so far. As he says, he's P14 at the minute. A couple of guys not able to put a lap time underneath them. Emo Guy, can he get any closer to Bostov at the minute? He does. He's within a second now. A couple of cars in the final couple of corners there. Who are they? It's Lucas Roth and Rabbit Joe. They are nose to tail here. Fury exits the final corner. Can he find a little bit more pace? No, he doesn't. Smoky Devil just behind him. With Matimovic also not too far behind. Smoky Devil doesn't improve. Matimovic, he doesn't improve. Lap times are just not tumbling down in a minute. Monkey Boy, has he got a lap time under his belt? He does. He goes P8. As John now, the next man, into the final corner. Reminder also to the guys in the chat, all drivers who fancy doing it and are not racing, you are more than welcome to come and join me in the commentary box. If you want to get to learn how to do the comms as well, we are always looking for new commentators here at Simplay Motorsports. And if you fancy getting involved, then please ask myself or Matt Tahimovic or Matthew Duffin to get involved. PN in the background in that lovely Aston Martin, which I had a quick go in and I actually quite enjoy the car. Oh, listen to it. I will never get bored. I would never get bored of the sound of this car. Dean Wasaki, has he finally got a lap time under his belt? Because currently at the minute, he's going to get out qualified by Big Boy Brazier and Disco with a qualifying ban. So Dean has to get a lap time together. He's in the final corner now. Bit of a wiggle there towards the line. Does he get a lap time on the board? No, he still doesn't get the lap time. He's running out of time. He needs to get that time on the board. Rabbit Joe, does he improve? No. Lucas Roth, he's currently P12. Does he improve? No, he stays there. Fury, no improvement either. Matimovic out of the final corner. Smoky Devil just behind him. Matt, no improvement. Nor Smoky Devil. So all these guys just struggling to find those little bit of gains. Nor Monkey Boy. There's no one improving at the minute. The number 26 of Gavlar, currently P4 at the minute. He's in the final corner. He's got a Peaceful Explosion in the other Ferrari, not too far behind him. Towards the line now. Is the McLaren going to take another pole position here? Gavlar doesn't improve, stays P4. Peaceful Explosion towards the line. What does he do? He doesn't improve either. Mazda in the background. Can he find a little bit more time? No, he does not. All these guys seem to have just hit their peaks. They can't seem to be improving. PM Motorsport in the Aston Martin exits the final corner. Does he find any more time? He does. He finds 4/10. So PN is able to find a little bit more pace under his Aston Martin. Emo Guy currently P2 at this precise stage. In the final corner comes Emo Guy. Yellow flag just ahead. Obviously a car pulled over and no improvement there for Emo Guy. Dean Wasaki now. Is he got the lap time on the board? He has a wiggle out the final corner towards the line now. Dean Wasaki, has he finally got that lap time? He does. He goes P16. So he will put Disco and Big Boy Brazier to the back of the grid. Rabbit Joe flashing his light, telling him to get right out of his way. He's on a fast one. 22, Smoky Devil in the final corner now. Is he going to improve? He does, and he goes up into P2 just ahead of Lucas Ruff. Welshie, does he find any more time? No, he does not. He'll have to stay in that position as PN Motorsport in the Aston Martin. Currently in the final sector is the 55 of Matt, who I saw. He was going very slow. He was winding himself up for a lap here. Will he be able to improve? Gavlar into the final corner. No improvement in the Ferrari either. What about Peaceful? 2.6 off the fastest at the minute. Will he improve now? No, he does not. He will stay there as well. Forzy, no improvements. No one is currently going quicker, as they are now down to the last 4 minutes of their qualifying session. Mazda, no improvement. PM Motorsport, though, does. He goes up to P14 and ahead of Welshie. As Rabbit Joe exits the pits and comes back on track, the number 87 of John is in the final corner. Best of luck to all the lads tonight, says Disco in the chat. And a reminder to all the drivers as well, if you do retire from the race, you will be carrying a qualifying ban into the next race. Emo Guy, no improvement there. As Dean has got Fury right behind him, and Fury will want to clear him as quickly as possible. He does down the inside. Oh, he just clips the wall ever so slightly there in the Lamborghini. Runs a bit wide. Towards 10-1, Fury wanting to try and get a little bit more pace so he can get himself ahead of Matahimovic. I'm still trying to figure out where cars are on track. Smoky Devil towards the line. Does he improve? He goes up to P12. So he does find a little bit more pace. Matimovic currently a little bit off Gavlar's pace. Has he found a good lap here? Towards the line. He doesn't improve. I think Gavlar towards the line. He does improve. He goes P3. He jumps ahead of Mazda. And Peaceful Explosion through the final corner now in the Ferrari. Has he found a little bit more pace here? Towards the line. No, he does not. And it is Mazda who's just been dropped out of third place. He's trying to get up a little bit higher. Runs a little bit wide towards the line. Does he improve? No, no improvement from himself. Monkey Boy next towards the line. I know Rabbit Joe's on an outlap. Monkey Boy, no improvement either. Looked very good at Silverstone. Seems to be struggling here at the Hungaroring. And now Emo Guy into the final corner. We're into the last stages of this qualifying session. So far, it's looking good for Bostov, who's not had to come back out on track. Emo Guy, no improvement. The number 87 of John has crossed the line, and again, no improvement from himself. And a reminder, while we have got this nice quiet stage on track at the minute, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit that bell to be notified so you do not miss any of the action here at Simplane Motorsport. Like I said, we're currently in a mid-season, end-season break between Season 6 and Season 7 on the Project Cars League. Get yourself signed up for Season 7 if you haven't done so already. Drivers, team, and car need to be confirmed within a week before the event, so make sure you do so. Get your cars and team names and drivers all signed up, ready to go before the season starts. As Gavlar comes through the final sector, and he just improves ever so slightly. Doesn't quite get onto the back of Emo Guy. He's a 10th off at the minute, or less than a 10th actually. Also, make sure you tune in on Sunday night as the F2s will be returning back on track, as we'll be heading to Singapore for the next round of the championship. Can I actually understand the rules of F2 and not get a disqualification or a penalty for not using the correct tyre compound? Monkey Boy currently on a lap time. He's coming into the final corner. Also, current sign-up sheets are currently live at the minute for a Radical Championship in the mid-season break. So if you want to get involved in that, a couple of tracks set up for the Radicals, a bit of fun for the season, nothing serious, just a little bit of fun for the end before we head into the serious stuff of Season 7, as Emo Guy ends his qualifying and he will start P2 as it stands. Gavlar, probably the only man who can knock him off. John, he's done for the session as well. Gavlar still on a lap time, as it's Fury coming into the final corner. Can Fury improve on his lap time? He does. He goes P4 and drops Mazda and Matt down, who are looking very good in their positions, but sadly are going to be starting further back now. There's going to be a lot of drivers with a lot of hurrying up to do earlier on in the race. Smoky Devil in the Porsche 911 into the final corner. He goes. Gavlar is not too far behind. We'll keep an eye on him. Can he jump Emo Guy at the start here? As Smoky Devil towards the line. Does he improve? No. So we keep our eyes on this man. Gavlar, can he get ahead of Emo Guy? That is the question. Has he found that magical 10th? No, he will start P3. So, Bostov on pole position. Emo Guy will start second. Third is Gavlar. Fourth is Fury. Fifth is Mazda. Sixth is Matimovic, your race winner and championship leader. Seventh is Rabbit Joe. Eighth is Peaceful Explosion. Ninth is Monkey Boy. 10th is Forzy. 11th John. 12th Smoky Devil. 13th Lucas Roth. PN is 14th. 15th is Welshie. 16th is Dean. 17th is PN Motorsport. 18th is Disco McDisco. And 19th is Big Boy Brazier, the two that are carrying a qualifying ban from race 1 after not completing the race. But it is Bossoff who is at the top of the tables here at the end of qualifying. Can he have a clean turn 1? Can he get away and really get his first race win here? A maiden win here at Simplay Motorsport? Or can Gavlar do anything about him? Or can Emo Guy as well? Emo Guy, multiple race winner here at Simplay Motorsport. Can he get himself involved and in the fight? That is the question. And get in and support your drivers as well. Like I said, hit that like button if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be notified so you do not miss the action. F2's on Sunday as we head to the Singapore Grand Prix. And then the Radicals will start on Tuesday as well. So get yourself signed up for that one. Currently 4 drivers signed up to it. A little bit of fun on a Tuesday night, nothing serious. Default setups, a couple of short circuits, a bit of fun like the touring cars we did earlier on in the season. So let's get as many drivers as we possibly can into that session. But right now, all these guys just coming to the end of their qualifying session. Gavlar bringing his car back into the pits, and he will start P3 on the grid. Oh, was he nearly hits the pit wall there? Good little practice before he comes in. He's already got the pit limiter on relatively early there. As we are about to get ready to go here. As love the suspension setup there from the Ferrari. Very high rake. I think it's a little bit too high for that Ferrari. But either way, if that's the kind of setup he wants to run. As the car sorts himself out now, and it lowers back down how it should. Lovely job. So we've got a minute into the start of the session. A reminder, an hour-long race here at the Hungaroring, Hungary, for the second round of the championship. A reminder, these guys also do have a pit window. I think it's a 15-minute pit window, and Fury, big man who got caught out by it, you need to pit within that time window. If you do not do so, you will carry a penalty. I think it was 130 seconds or something like that. So it's a big penalty if you fail to do so. So we just get the call there, 30 seconds to the start of this race. So we'll have to momentarily change this. Mike got a trophy for lapping the field. Okay, bit of a weird one. But we're about to get underway here for the second round of the ACC Championship. Who is going to take the second win of the season? Is it going to be Bostop, or is Matt going to come through the pack once again and take a race win like he did at Silverstone? Who knows, as we are going to go green here. As they all pull away from the grid. Like I said, this game's really stupid and I really don't like it. Currently just on Gavlar at the minute. But it's Bostov and Emo Guy on the front row. Who is going to get the jump? Who is going to get the first chance into turn 1 as they all head towards the start-finish line? And we are green here, as we've got a lot of penalties already, drive-throughs for a lot of drivers. As we head to turn 1 right now, and it's the Emo Guy who's got the jump. Bostov has already dropped behind, but Fury's up there as well as Matt's coming, storming down the inside. Bostov's been hit, he's gone round, there's all sorts of chaos, and once again, it's Matahimovic who's on top. Emo Guy's gone round, and Matt leads, all sorts of chaos, cars everywhere. Emo Guy, a lot of cars getting involved there. I think who's else out in the background? That looks like, so it looks like Smoky Devil, Welshie, and Dean Wasaki all got caught up with that. But it's Matahimovic who leads with Mazda breathing down his neck here at the Hungaroring. Fury is P3, Monkey Boy up into P4, Forzy P5. Lucas Roth has got a drive-through penalty, and there goes Bostov. He goes round. He's had a big moment there. Has he hit anybody else? Don't think he has. I think he's managed to get away with it. But there's all sorts of chaos at the further back of the field. Loads of drivers with a drive-through. Welshie also, and also John as well. All these guys with drive-throughs. But once again, it's Matahimovic leading the way. But Fury looking very racy in this Lamborghini here. Is he on his way to try and hunt his way past Mazda here as he goes very wide, and he's in once again a Bentley sandwich. Lucas Roth with a great start as well, but sadly he's got that drive-through that he has to do as Big Boy Brazier and Disco have had a very good start. They've worked their way up the pack, and Peaceful just looked like he's just been overtaken by Big Boy Brazier around the outside, not what he would have wanted. As they go round into the first part of the lap, and it's done and dusted already. Is Lucas Roth into the pits? No. John coming straight in to serve his drive-through, as will Welshie as well. So Keys has got 1 or 2 more laps to serve his drive-through, but he wants to try and get as far down the road as he possibly can. Emo Guy goes down the inside of turn 1. Is he going to get the job done there? Yes, he will, but Lucas Roth will come and switch underneath him and push him wide. Around the inside goes Lucas Roth, but it looks like the Bentley's just got a little bit more grunt than the Aston Martin and is able to just stay ahead. Rabbit Joe's burst behind, and as Big Boy Brazier bursts his boss off right now, as Gavlar also trying to, Peaceful and Gavlar trying to recover in the background. The 3 Ferraris running behind one another as the 87 has cleared his drive-through penalty. That'll be John, as Welshie as well. Welshie just coming to the end of the pit lane. He will serve his drive-through also. It's just Keegs who we're waiting for now to serve his drive-through. 69 cleared. Fury now is ahead of Mazda. What's happened to Mazda? He's dropped to 4th. He's lost out to Monkey Boy as well. As Forzy now on a hunt to try and catch the leading Bentleys. Lucas Roth with great pace at the minute in the Aston Martin. Runs a little bit wide. Rabbit Jet, I think, has had a little moment as well. He's dropped down the order as these 2 McLarens are still going at it. Big Boy Brazier versus Bostov, currently 9th and 10th. There goes Bostov again. He goes round. He's lost the rear and he's gone off track. And Bostov dropping down the order. He has to be careful when rejoining because there's a car right in his way as Peter Motorsport tries to find his way through the pack. PN goes very wide. Matt leads this race, but he is being hunted down by this man. Fury is coming for Matahimovic. P3 currently Monkey Boy, Mazda, and Forzy looking very good in the Porsche at the minute. Emo Guy currently in 6th place. He's looking to make a move on that Porsche. He goes down the inside, and Lucas Roth is in the pits to serve his drive-through. Forzy getting passed by Emo Guy into turn 1. So Emo Guy, another car cleared. Next is Mazda, and I believe Mazda is going to be a trickier guy to pass. Disco down the inside of Gavlar there, and he loses another place there with Peaceful right behind him as well. So like I said, the 3 Ferraris running in sequence right now, 9th, 10th and 11th. The Smoky Devil just behind them. The number 12 has cleared his penalty, and that is Lucas Roth. But Emo Guy, the man on the move, he is trying to hunt down the other Bentleys. At the minute it's Bentley 1, 3, 4 and 5. The only car that's not a Bentley up there is the Lamborghini of Fury, who just seems to be struggling here a little bit with his car. Doesn't feel very, very fast at the minute. But Matt currently at the minute, long gone into the distance. He's got a very healthy lap. As Yuri seems to be struggling, I think, with his pedals. He must be. He's having issues with his pedals, and he's off track to one side. So now it's now Bentley 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to be sick of the sight of these Bentleys by the end of this. Fury's into the bits. He's had to come back in. I think he's sorting his pedals out. He's been having issues with them. Forzy P6 at the minute doing it for the Porsches, as Rabbit Joe's behind him as well. Big Boy Brazier just in 8th as Bossoff on a real drive once again after Silverstone. He just wanted a clean race and get out in front, but it looks like he's going to have to do all the hard work once again, as he's now got to try and clear Smoky Devil and Peaceful Explosion. So these two are in the middle of a fight. Gavlar looks very close on the back of Disco, just ahead of him. Oh, Smoky Devil. I think Peaceful came together then because they've both gone very wide. Wheel clamp just broke. Oh, that's such a shame for Fury. Such a shame. So annoying for him. He's in the pits and the wheel clamp has just snapped on him. That's Big Boy Brazier now onto the back of Rabbit Joe. Once again, Big Boy Brazier continuously showing his internet perfection, as he's very, very laggy. He's looking to try and make a move on the Porsche 911 of Rabbit Joe. He's not going to make it easy. The Hungarian, well known for not being able to overtake. But Matt with a very, very comfortable lead at the minute. P4 is all the way of Bentleys. Currently 1 to 4, all Bentleys. 3rd is Mazda. 4th is Emo Guy. And Forzy currently in that 5th place position. Right now, though, Big Boy Brazier is on the hunt to try and find a way past Rabbit Joe. As they come into the final few sectors now. A little bit further back, Dean Mustaki, I think, is in a little bit of a race with Lucas Roth. Lucas Roth on a recovery drive after serving his penalty. And he leads the cars that have served their penalty. So it's not all doom and gloom for him. He can still recover from this race. And PN just hanging on to the back of the pack. He isn't too far away. Emo Guy getting closer to the leaders. Rabbit Joe, though, still got his hands full with Big Boy Brazier in the background. Disco as well with Gavlar. Bossoff currently 10th and is on his way to recover. Peaceful Explosion pulled a little bit of gap over Smoky Devil. And just behind them is PN in the roaring Aston Martin. Just behind them is Dean Masaki, who's been overtaken by Lucas Robb, and off goes Lucas. He's now free to go, but he's got John now chasing after him, Dean Masaki. Mazda now is within touching distance of Monkey Boy, so the Bentleys are all getting tight together now. As Emo Guy gets right onto the back of Mazda as they go through the chicane. Nowhere to find a way through there. Gavlar is also right on the back of Disco, who's got Big Boy Brazier, who's dropped behind them as well. So he's at a moment somewhere. He's lost out. As Mazda's gone wide, that's opened Emo Guy through. So Emo Guy now up into 3rd place position. So Monkey Boy gets a little bit of sigh of relief as he now pulls away from the 2 Bentleys behind him. Forzy with a very solid P4 at the minute, currently. Sorry, P5 with Rabbit Joe, currently P6. Disco is under a lot of pressure here for Gavlar, who's looking around the outside. He can't get the job done. In comes Big Boy Brazier. He's now interested in this fight, as the 2 Ferraris are too busy battling with one another. And Disco there runs a little bit wide, gives an opportunity for someone to have a look down the inside, but he's not able to. John still on the back of Dean Masaki, can't find a way through. But we go back to this scrap. Disco has got a Ferrari and 2 McLarens breathing down his neck. As also the 3 Bentleys currently nose to tail. Monkey Boy just behind them. We go to Rabbit Joe. There's Disco. Gavlar sent it down the inside and around he goes. The 2 McLarens avoid him. And Disco's managed to escape that one relatively unscathed. He's now got the 2 McLarens breathing down his neck. And each move here is just allowing Bossoff to get a little bit further up the grid. There's Peaceful Explosion now, just on the back of Gabler. Let's go back to 2, 3, and 4. Emo Guy right on the back of Monkey Boy. Monkey Boy's got it all under control at this stage at the minute, but Emo Guy will be wanting to sniff an opportunity to get past him. Hungaroring, famous for being the Monaco of racetracks, is very difficult to get past. There's no easy opportunity, bar probably turn 1. So right now, Emo Guy has got to make sure he gets a good exit out of the final corner. As Bostov, I think, has managed to get ahead of Big Boy Brazier. Yes, he has. As Big Boy Brazier has had a big moment, and he's gone off. Can he get himself back on track, or is he going back to the pits? As we go into the final corner now. Emo Guy right on the back of Monkey Boy. Is he going to try and send it into the first corner? Yes, he's going for it. And through turn 1 he goes, and into second place. The question now, can he catch Matahimovic? So I apologise for the messages in the chat. That's all sorted now. As now Emo Guy will try and extend his lead as we got Bostov in the pits. So as he got major damage and he's back having to repair his car. Peaceful Explosion just ahead of Smoky Devil at the minute. Gabler, P8, Disco, P7, P6 is Rabbit Joe, P5 is Forzy, P4, Mazda, 3, Monkey Boy, 2, Emo Guy, and leading out in front with a very big gap is Matahimovic. Currently he's got 10 seconds over the rest of the pack at the minute. Emo Guy though will be on the hunt to try and catch Matt as quickly as he possibly can. As Jamie has said that he is done for the session, he's gone. As to come into the final corner now, into the final sector, is Emo Guy bringing the gap down. 9.9 was the gap towards the line now. 9.5, he's 4, he's starting to bring the gap down. Monkey Boy and Mazda just need to stick to the back of him. Forzy currently in 5th, but he's got Rabbit Joe now starting to hunt him down. Rabbit Joe looking very good in his Porsche 911. Can he catch the other 911 of Forzy? Disco currently P7. Gabler 8, 9th is Peaceful. So once again the Ferraris running one behind the other, separating the other Porsche from these fellow cars as Bostov is back out on track. And I think Lucas Roth is just slowly starting to catch onto the back of PN Motorsport. As Monkey Boy here, just managing just to stick onto the back of Emo Guy. He's able to just stick with him at the minute. As Emo Guy really isn't able to kind of he's matching Matt's pace out in front at this stage. No massive lap times from him. So through the sector here is Rabbit Joe just trying to get onto the back of the car in front. Mazda's got a drive through penalty for track limit, so Mazda will have to serve his drive through now. He has 3 laps to do so. Rabbit Joe currently P6. He's got Disco hunting him down ever so slowly. So Mazda, does he peel into the pits now? Yes, he does. Drive through penalty to be served for him. And all so far, plain sailing for Matahimovic. Emo Guy P2 and Monkey Boy P3. So the Bentleys are looking very good at the minute. So, Rabbit Joe on the back of his fellow Porsche 911 driver of Forzy. They've got Bossoff just in front of him at the minute, who currently seems to be struggling. We've lost another car, I think. I'm not sure who we've lost. Who have we lost? Fury, I think. Have we lost Fury? No, we've lost Mazda. We've lost Mazda. Mazda has left the session. So all these guys are going to get bumped up a couple of places once again. Emo guy, he's really the only man who can really challenge Matt at this stage. But he doesn't want to be pushing too hard. He needs to get that car to get quite away. Matt will have to try and be as consistent as he possibly can. Emo guy is faster, but not by enough. So at this stage, Mazda, Jamie will be carrying the qualifying ban into the next race if they choose to race at the next round of the season, which I think is Paul Ricard. Fury, I think, will get away with it due to having hardware issues. But we will have to confirm with the stewards that is definitely a hardware. Obviously, I'm pretty sure it is. If his wheels snapped off the bracket, then it's probably unable to drive with at the minute. So Forzy just losing time here to Rabbit Joe, who's really starting to get into a rhythm here. Can he get a little bit closer to the other Porsche 911? And really, turn one is his best opportunity. Just behind him is Disco McDiscoface, who's also trying to creep onto the back of them. Gavlar, not too far behind him also. Peaceful in P8, mid-pack at the minute. I'd be quite happy with Peaceful at the minute if I was currently in P8 in that Ferrari. He seems to be struggling with it, and he's got a good rhythm at the minute. It's all about just surviving around here at the Hungaroring. Rabbit Joe though. Oh, this Disco's really pushing the limits there, as is Gavlar. The two Porsches seem to be a lot more within track limits than the two Ferraris behind them. I think the Ferraris are really pushing, especially Disco. He's getting right onto the back of Rabbit Joe now. So Rabbit Joe went from being the attacker to now being the hunted. So he's probably looking too much in his mirrors and instead not looking in front. So Disco now wanting a bit of PT action. Not too far behind them is Gavlar as well. He possibly wants to get involved as well. And this just lets Forzy off the hook a second. Yeah, he was down to 6/10, is now back up to 1.4. That's allowed Rabbit Joe. He's lost loads. Gavlar's made a mistake. He's gone deep and he nearly hits the back of Disco. So he manages to get away with that one. As Disco runs a little bit wide there. Rabbit Joe now can attack Forzy once again. Or Forzy sound like he had a lock up there. Because I just realised something. I have my sound playing in the background. There we go. Apologies if anybody heard that. I think. Oh, hopefully it wasn't too bad. If you want to join me in the commentary box, you are more than welcome to, as I will try and get Jamie in the chat now. Excuse me for a minute while I just get Jamie into the party. So, still on track at the minute. It's still Forzy, currently in a P4. But he's got a massive train behind him with Rabbit Joe, Disco and Gavlar all breathing down his neck. Pistol's had a moment. He's hit the wall and he's got damage to the front end of his car. He's going to try and want to jump him to the pit stops if he possibly can. Smoky Devil moves up a position now and Peaceful's got major damage to the front of his Ferrari. He's really struggling with the front end of that car. Can he drag it home? Bad luck there for Peaceful. But we go back to this scrap between these four. This is your closest fight on track. I'd say that. John has actually caught Lucas Roth. So this is a good little scrap also. So we'll come back to them in a moment's time. But Forzy currently got a train of cars behind him. Rabbit Joe though goes a little bit deep there. and is looking to try to make a way through on Forzy, but can't seem to do so. Rabbit Joe getting very close to the wall there, as we are actually starting to come towards the halfway point of this race, and so far Rabbit Joe is probably getting sick to death of looking at the back of that Porsche. Emo Guy though has brought the gap down massively. I haven't even noticed it. It was 9.3 and was sticking around that. Emo Guy has brought the gap down. What is it now? 7.1. So either Matt's had a mistake somewhere or he's a little bit slow. And Emo Guy has brought the gap down. Monkey Boy's lost time. Forzy though, still this train of cars behind him. We'll go back to Lucas Roth. He's just extended a little bit over John. John is on the move now, trying to get onto the back of Keys. Keys in the Aston Martin. A little bit slower in a straight line, if I'm correct. And he's currently got the Bentley coming towards him. Into turn one, there you go. I really do not want to miss any of. Oh, as I say that, Rabbit Joe bouncing all over the grass and curb there, and he's got a Disco breathing down this. Disco goes down the inside. Is he going to get the job done? He's going to stick with it, and Rabbit Joe goes round and he hits the wall. Rabbit Joe really had to kind of bail out on that one, but he didn't. He kept his foot pin, and Disco goes through. Gavlar though will gain advantage, so Disco is at 2 hits from 2 different cars, and he's managed to get away with it. Big Boy Brazier is back into the session, so he's able to see what's going on out on track. And Disco goes through turn 5, turn 6. Sorry, the final few corners here. Gavlar currently in P6. As Big Boy Brazier says in the chat to Max, I forgot to join today. Max, as I don't think Big Boy Brazier wants to do the rest of the season, so you'll be able to replace him for the rest of the season. Forzy now, instead of a Porsche breathing down his neck, he's got the Ferraris breathing down his neck as they exit turn 1. As we do now have Jamie in the chat with us, and Jamie, just not working out for you, I guess. McLaren just not able to be hooked up around here.
No, I was just making a few silly mistakes of my own, and just got front hit a couple of times. Yeah, just got frustrated, really.
Yeah, fair dude. So I'm just going to turn you up ever so slightly. I've made it so that the sound is, the game is a bit louder. So there we go, you're a bit louder. But nonetheless, a great race we've had so far. A lot of action going on. Bostov though, earlier on, lost the start of the race. The Emo Guy down the inside of him, and then next thing you know, absolute chaos commences. Talk us through what happened in turn 1. Obviously, you were starting at the back of the pack. Looks like there was just cars left, right, and centre.
Yeah, so there was just cars in front, flying past PN up towards turn 1, and then just trying to make my way through turn 1. And I see Bostov come flying around. I managed to thread the needle, but yeah, so Bostov not having a night so far. He's down in 14th, and a long way off Matt. I think he's
2 laps down.
Yeah, he's 2 laps down now, so championship not looked good for him.
No, definitely not. And so far, Bostov just hasn't had the start to races that he needs. He hasn't been able to pull away with that pace that he has. 44.1, I think he'd done in qualifying, which was massively quicker than anybody else. He's just been able to put it onto track. But right now, we're just cut to this. Forzy is now having to depend from Disco at Gavlar. And this fight has been going on for a while now, as Disco goes around the outside. Gavlar looks down the inside, but Forzy has protected that inside, and he's able to keep the 2 Ferraris behind him. Disco, though, wants a great run out the hairpin, and he's unable to do so. Now Gavlar's going to attack him into turn 2. Gavlar looking to the outside. Disco has to defend. Forzy is probably wincing right now, hoping that both of those Ferraris will stop, and they go through turn 3. And once again, great scrap here. And Jamie, what awesome racing we're having between these 3.
Yeah, it's brilliant racing between those 2. Disco looking for a way through, going up towards the hairpin, not finding the way through because he can have a look into his chicane. He gets up on the curve a little, runs a little bit wide, so Forzy's just able to relax a little bit. There's a car just in front, which is the Lamborghini of Welshie, but Disco has a massive wiggle coming off the chicane.
I think Welshie's actually dropped it. No, he hasn't. He's managed to keep going. So it looked very sideways earlier on. He gets well out of the way of these 3, and smart he does, because these guys will not see him whatsoever as they come flying through. So Forzy, P4, P5 and 6 of Disco Gavlar all giving it a good scrap. Once again, as we just get confirmation now, the pit window has opened. Gavlar's going to go down the inside of Disco. He thinks better of it, and an opportunistic move there as the guys come towards the pits now. Is any of these going to pit now? That's the question. Fury got bit in the bum last week after not pitting in the correct window, and right now, if you were any of these three, what would you do, Jamie? If I was Gavlar, I'd probably be in the pits, get my pit stop done out of the way, and get the undercut.
Yeah, I would be. I'd be straight into the pit lane to get the
Rabbit Joe first in the pits. So yeah, Gavlar currently the man who's just behind these two. And like I said, Jamie, if I was him, I'd be in pits now. Get it out the way. Yeah, these two, let them fight and then jump them.
Yeah, if I was Disco as well, I'd be in the pits as well, because he's quite clearly been held up by Forzy, but Disco's run a little bit wide and he's giving Gavlar a sniff up the inside, but he's on the wrong side for this corner. And Disco holds that 5th place, but Gavlar's going to have to run, but if this isn't the corner, you really overtake it. Gavlar's looking, doesn't go for it, and Forzy's just able to gap him a little bit. Peaceful comes into the pits as well.
Yeah, Peaceful's managed to drag that damage that he's had so far, managed to get himself back into the pit, so he won't have to pit again, so that's good for him. But Gavlar here, so much more pace than these two. He should really come into the pits, really, and just clear these two as Lucas Roth carries on through. Anyone else opted to pit? No, John stays out, PN stays out. As a few other guys come through the final sector now. Matt stays out as well, so does Dean Masokin. I think Emo Guy, again, slowly bringing that gap down, but he's opted into pit. We go back to this fight between the Ferraris of Disco and Gavlar as they're coming through the final few sectors now. And Gavlar really should have pounced straight away, because now these guys could think about it. Like Disco could probably think and get right, let me get clean air, let me run a few laps on my own. Emo Guy is in. So it's going to be interesting how this fight plays out. Forzy's in.
Yeah, Forzy's in. Disco goes in as well. So Gavlar continues on. So that could be the best strategy. Emo Guy came into the pits as well that lap.
So that might play in Gavlar's hands very, very well. So he's now got clean air. Those two right out of his way. So he now can pump in some decent lap times. He could probably get possibly 2 or 3 laps with this pit window open. So if he nails some good lap times now, he is able to just produce some decent lap times. As Rabbit Joe, the first one to complete the pit strategy. And he's now behind Bossoff, who will have to come into the pits.
Yeah, well, she's into the pits as well. Peaceful's been in the pits for quite a while, fixing his damage, but I think he might now be on his way. He is indeed. He's going to come out ahead of Lucas Roth, who's come into the pits.
Disco is back out, but he hasn't applied the pit strategy. He have to come in again. I was a bit confused there because Forzy was still in the pits. He's now applied with it, so Disco will have to pit again. Emo Guy back out on track. What does Matt do? He's now in the final sector. Does he come into the pits now to react to Emo Guy pitting? Yes, he does. And again, Jamie, Matt has just got it so easy so far this season. He's just been able to take the race lead comfortably with other people's mistakes.
I think it's more that everyone's just allowed Matt to get out and get into his own rhythm. Yeah. As soon as Matt gets out on his own, he's very hard to beat. You look at him on Project Cars in the GT3s, that he's very difficult to beat when he's out on his own in front. I think he missed his pit box there a little because it reversed him back. Does Monkey Boy pit? No. Monkey Boy is in the lead.
Monkey Boy playing a long game, and once again as well, I got another comment to mention that the Bentley seems to be an all-round good car. It's currently top 3 at the minute with Matt, Monkey Boy and Emo Guy leading the way. And obviously with Matt and Mazda both making the podium last week as well, this car looks very good round here and very handy no matter where we go. Yeah,
it does indeed. I think is Disco going to come back into the pits? Nobody else in the top 4 came in that time around. Disco's going to... He looked like he was going to come in, but he's not. Emo Guy's the next car along. Where is Matt? Matt's on his way out now. and Emo Guy is only coming towards the exit of the final corner. So in that, he's got a lovely gap. He's that is peaceful just behind him, but he's a lap down, so peaceful won't cause any bother whatsoever.
As we get confirmation there, we are halfway through the race, as I will now put a poll up for who people would think is going to win this race, because just kind of pan it out a little bit differently. Gavlar, though, is the man who's going to be trying to make as much points as he possibly can here and positions while he's got clean air. So who is going to come out on top between those three, with Disco and Forzy? Obviously, he's current man in front, but Disco's still yet to come into the pits again, so it's going to be an interesting one.
Here it is indeed. So we've still got the top three to come in, Disco to come back in again, John to come in, PN, and PN is in now, so he's now doing his mandatory stop, and Bolsoft has got to come in. And they've only got 4 minutes to do it, so that's probably only about 2 laps. Monkey Boy in as well.
Indeed, as I've now put a poll up who you think is going to win at this race. Obviously, we're already halfway, anything can happen. We've lost a few drivers as well, so literally anything can happen, as Gavlar now leads this race. Smoky Devil into the pits, and Emo Guy does seem to have some pace in that Bentley, but he just doesn't seem to have enough to match Matt at the minute, who's the gap is extended between the two. So it was something like 6 seconds between them, and it's now gone to 11 seconds, I believe. So 12 seconds.
Yeah, so I think Emo Guy's got that little bit more pace over Matt, but it's not a massive amount that he's able to put it to his advantage. Like he's faster by about 1/10 of a second, and in an endurance race you need to be a lot quicker than the car in front if you want to make any gains, really.
Yeah, definitely so. It's all the last few guys coming in to make their mandatory pit stop. The only man still yet to go is this man, Bostov, to come into the pits. His Emo Guy now can set his sights on Matt Imovich. There's only a car between those two, and I believe it's peaceful. It is peaceful between those two. So Gavlar and Bostov still the only two to come into the pits, and Gavlar will probably come in this lap, I would assume. As now the times are starting to update properly.
Yeah, Disco's back in the pits, John's in the pits, and Bostov as well. Bostov on his way down, so the only man we should be waiting for is Gavlar, and Gavlar is into the pit lane, and a stop-go penalty to Smoky Devil speeding in the pit lane.
So Gavlar gets his car start, puts the pit limiter on, and in the pits he goes. So Smoky Devil with that 30-second stop and go. That is a hefty penalty as well.
That is a very hefty penalty. Whereabouts does he come out? He's come out in
P6.
In 6th, but has Rabbit Joe? I think he's actually come out in 7th. So 30-second penalty would drop him at the minute behind John into 9th. But you got to remember as well, he's got the pit lane to do as well. Actually, he dropped behind Lucas Roth, because Lucas Roth is actually ahead of.
Well, here's the thing, Jamie. Forzy now coming into the penultimate corner, and Gavlar's not moved yet. He's not on his way, as Forzy now into the final corner, and he's still not moved. He's not moving anywhere, so Forzy is going to stay ahead, I think, at this stage. He will do. He'll have the run, and Forzy will hang in there. He's actually made time on Monkey Boy, to be fair.
Yeah, Gavlar is away now. And there goes Forzy.
So
and
all
Forzy,
that...
he gets out just in front of Gavlar.
So this is interesting as well. Monkey Boy's poor pit stop or poor lap, whatever it was, has now allowed himself to be caught by the two behind him of Forzy and Gavlar. And now they're fighting for that final podium position. Now, obviously these Bentleys have been looking very, very strong all season long so far. And it'd be nice to see either the Porsche or the Ferrari just take the fight to them a little bit. And these two now looking very good to try and attack Monkey Boy while he's vulnerable.
Yeah, they are indeed. Smoky Devil is into the pit lane for his 30-second stop and go penalty. Disco goes past him almost immediately, and Smoky Devil is going to plummet down the order. He'll probably lose the position probably lose out to Peace Explosion as well, and possibly Bossoff. The Bossoff's not too far away either. He's right. Bossoff's right behind Emo Guy. There's Smokey is in his box now.
He is indeed, as Emo Guy is still not able to catch Matt. The pit window has now closed. Matt, he was a little bit to the inside there, not sure why. He crosses the line. Let's see the gap between him and Emo Guy. Emo Guy exits the final corner, so Emo Guy has been putting the pressure on here a little bit. So towards the line, the gap is 9.9. It was 12 seconds, so Emo Guy is coming back at Matt. So as Monkey Boy go into the final corner as well, he's got Forzy and Gavlar hunting him down. Rabbit Joe, once again, another solid drive for himself. He's just been thereabouts where he needed to be. His Disco also, with that, without being able to clear his drive through and getting the pit stop right, he would have been a lot better. But he says the tyre pressures always goes a bit funny after his pit stop, as he bounces all over the curb there. So, and Jamie, talking about tyre, I believe you had to change tyre compounds in this, or change tyre anyway, and the pressures seem to go a little bit funny for some people if you haven't set it up correctly.
Yeah, if you don't set the correct tyre pressures, it can be it can be a bit wayward, as I found out last week at Silverstone. I forgot to set my tyre pressures and just kept spinning around in a circle. I believe Apex also forgot to do his tyre pressures last week.
As I'm currently watching the Forzy and Gavlar, they're not really hunting down Monkey Boy as I thought, so Monkey Boy is able to start extending that gap. There's currently a poll out, guys, if you want to get involved in who you think is going to take this win. At the minute, only one person's voted. It's going the way of Matt, but Emo Guy is going to make sure he can try and hunt down Matt as quickly as he can. All Matt needs to do is keep it facing the right way. At the minute, he goes into the final corner, and Emo Guy...
Bossoff has relieved Peace Explosion of 11th place, and he can see PN Motorsport, who's running very well in the V12 Aston Martin in the top 10, but I believe he's now back. Yeah, Bossoff comes flying through. Easel is as well, because PN was letting Emo Guy through, so the ends up starts the straight in 10th, ends up 12th.
Emo Guy once again takes another couple of tenths out of Matt's lead. He has got the McLaren of Bossoff right behind him and is looking much faster. As we go back to Gavlar, who's brought that gap down to less than half a second between him and Forzy. Forzy now is under pressure from the Ferrari, but he can also see as he goes down the inside, and Forzy sees him, and Gavlar gets the job done. A bit of a Daniel Ricciardo-esque move there, very late, and he lets him back through there. Maybe there was a little bit of contact, so he allows Forzy back through there. So
yeah, he does, but this has allowed Monkey Boy just to disappear up the road.
It has indeed. So has Matt managed? Sorry, Jamie. Has Matt managed to change his tyre pressures correctly? Because he seems to be a lot slower than Emo Guy at this phase of the race.
Yeah. So as well, I don't know whether it's a bit like Project Cars, because Project Cars, they can change tyres. It's a bit funny, because one tyre you might prefer more than the other. You might change onto the same compound, but you might prefer that tyre more, and that might be the case with Matt, that he just hasn't found the rhythm with these tyres, and he's just struggling with it, or indeed it has just changed his pressures ever so slightly. He's got the Lamborghini of Welshi in front, and Welshi easily lets him through, and Matt... Forzy's
back under pressure once again from Gavlar, as once again Emo Guy takes another couple of tenths out, half a second taken out, as we've only got 20 minutes left of this session. Gavlar, though, is right on the back of Forzy. He needs to have a very good exit out the hairpin so he can attack Forzy into turn 1. So, Ferrari versus Porsche, which is going to come out on top as we go into the final corner once again. Forzy tries to get a good exit. He does get a good launch out the corner, better run than Gavlar, and Gavlar is not able to get close enough to him this time in turn 1.
No, and he didn't stick in. He's not sticking in the slipstream. Forzy's going to compromise himself a bit, because he's defending to the inside. He gets a car stop. They got the Porsche of Smoky Devil just in front, so he might play a bit. He might play a part in this.
Might indeed, as for Smoky Devil there, just in the front of these guys, and Forzy will be stressing like mad. He'll want that other Porsche right out of his way while he's got the Ferrari breathing down his neck. That lap, that first sector, Emo Guy and Matt are similar pace now. Forzy really sideways over that left-hander, really hanging it sideways. He is on the limit here. Emo Guy though, just go to him as he comes through the next sector. He's a little bit slower this time, so Matt is getting himself back into the groove again.
Yeah, Forzy's now right on to the back of Smoky Devil. So Smoky doesn't need to. I don't know whether Smoky needs to get out of the way.
Well, right now he has been given blue flags, so sooner or later he will have to move to one side as he runs a little bit wide there. Is he going to choose to get out of the way now? No, he doesn't, as Forzy's flashing him like mad. He wants him out of the way as he go into the final few corners here. Smoky Devil now really starting to become a little bit of a nuisance for Forzy here.
Yeah, he is indeed. But what Forzy will get the slipstream of Smoky Devil down towards turn 1. But you just got to be careful, because if he dive bombs Smoky Devil going to get out of his way. And Smoky is not getting out of his way, and he's getting in the slipstream, but he's already gone to the inside. Where's Gavlar? Gavlar's quite a way back with the popcorn out ready for this to kick off.
He is indeed, and Smoky Devil is not making it easy, and he goes a little bit deep. Through goes Forzy. Is it going to be just as easy for Gavlar? Smoky Devil's still right there, and he splits him at the minute. Smoky Devil's going back down the inside, actually, as he now lets Gavlar, as he makes contact with Gavlar.
Yeah, he makes contact with him. Gavlar's just going to go round the outside, around the inside for this corner, and Gavlar now past the back marker, but he's lost a fair bit of time to Forzy. He's now 1.5. He lost a second to him just through that sequence of corners.
As we go back to the front, Matt lost another 7/10 that lap to Emo Guy. Emo Guy just not doing enough at the minute, I don't think. He's not doing the lap times to bring that gap down fast enough. Maybe if he allows Bostov to go through, he's able to just get towed around maybe by the McLaren. As the McLaren hits him! Bostov has hit Emo Guy and has slowed his progress right down. That's going to stop him getting this win. And Matimovic goes into turn 1. John gets right out of his way.
And I think Bostov is going to go back. To the pits here, because he's stopped on the pit straight. And there you go. And he's left.
Bostov has left the session. He is done for tonight, and he will now carry a qualifying ban for the next race, which will be at Paul Ricard. Emo Guy though, biggest man who got hampered out of that. He was 8 seconds. He's now dropped to 13 seconds. So he got really hampered there. Forzy, after finally clearing Smoky Devil, which was actually helping him a little bit because he gapped Gavlar. But now Gavlar's right on the back. He goes down the inside of turn 1. He's got the run, but Forzy will have a better exit. He'll get the traction as they now come to the hairpin. And Gavlar around the outside, can he get the job done? No, Forzy's just going to have to stay strong. As he does so, Gavlar nowhere way through, and he'll have to wait a little bit longer once again as they go through the tight section of the middle sector.
Yeah, Gavlar not able to make a move there, but Forzy runs a little bit wide. Gavlar has a little look up the inside, but there's no way through there. Forzy just draws a couple of lengths on Gavlar as they head towards the chicane. Gavlar closes back in, hits those sausage curbs.
You just see in the background Smoky Devil getting really sideways through the chicane. Meanwhile, these two are still going at it, and I think it's going to be not whether if, but more a matter of time and when will Gavlar find his way through, because he has just got so much more pace than Forzy right now. But Forzy is putting up a cracking fight here. He's really trying to hang on to this, and this is basically your closest fight on track. Gavlar once again has a look down the inside, but there's nowhere to go through. Forzy hangs it tight there, and you'll see Forzy back again on track on Sundays. Contact is made. Gavlar has just pushed him wide, but Gavlar will allow him back on track as he done so. So there's no advantage there. Forzy actually gains a little bit. He pulls a little bit of a gap.
Yeah, Yeah, that is really cost Gavlar there.
He just needed to stay patient. He had the run, he had the speed. He just needed to stay patient so he could set him up for the final corner. And Forsey, just a little bit of a tap between them and has allowed him to get away. Current running order as we got the last 15 minutes of this session. Matimovic leads away with Emo Guy currently in second place. Third place is Monkey Boy. It's a Bentley 1, 2 and 3 at the minute as he now passes Welshie. P4 is still Forsey at the minute, but he's got Gavlar breathing down his neck in P5. Rabbit Joe is in P6 with Disco in P7 after sign on the back row of the grid. Lucas Roth has got himself back up into P8 with John currently in P9. Peaceful Explosion will take the final point.
And Gavlar's round. Gavlar's in the wall.
Gavlar's in the wall and he's nearly been hit by Smoky Devil. Thank you, G, for mentioning that, but Gavlar has made a mistake and that is released Forsey and away he goes. Gavlar gets back on track. Where is Rabbit Joe? He now comes to the left-hander.
He'll see the Ferrari just ahead. And how much damage has Gavlar got? Is he going to have to box, or can he sort of Joe? Rabbit Joe can see the Ferrari just up ahead, and he will smell blood.
As Gavlar's put his hazards on, basically that car is wounded right now, badly damaged, and Rabbit Joe is seeing that, and I think Gavlar will pit this lap, so that's going to help Rabbit Joe and Disco out massively. So sadly go back through the order again. We got to John, who was currently P9, Peaceful Explosion P10, P11 is PN Motorsport in that lovely Aston Martin that we all love hearing. Smoky Devil currently P12, but hunting him down with Dimasoki P13. He's going to score some points just by staying on track and going. Welshie P14, and that is your order at the minute. But Matt, once again, a nice cruise, possibly 2 at the end of this race. As Emo Guy was 13 seconds behind, he's bringing the gap down.
That made a little bit of a mistake because the gap's back down to 12 seconds.
I think he's slowly catching on to the back of him, yes.
Yeah, the gap was about 20 odd seconds, and Emo Guy has brought it back to where it was before the contact with Bossoft.
So as I've just got some horrible message being posted on there, as we will get rid of them.
Gavlar comes into the pit, and he's going to be in there for quite a while. Has Disco gone through? Disco has. What about Lucas Roth? Lucas Roth has not gone through yet. He's got Matt just up ahead of him.
Well, Matt's gained a little bit in this final sector here, or middle sector, sorry, because it was 12 seconds, it's now 13.1. Towards the line he goes now. Emo Guy is into the final corner himself, but he probably got a little bit of damage, possibly from the McLaren of Bossoff hitting him as he comes towards the line. Now it's 12.6. Excuse me. Thank you.
Yeah, Lucas Roth has gone through on Gavlar. Gavlar not on his way out yet. John's gone through as well. The car looked very slow there, but I think he was just letting Emo go through. What about Peace? Peace has gone through, but I think Gavlar is on his way now. Whereas PN hasn't overtaken him. So Gavlar is out in 10th.
So currently just in the messages as well, Bossoff has just announced his retirement from the championship. So
Matt has got Dean Wasocki just in front, and Dean's going to want to get right out of the way, and he does. Dean does indeed. At the minute, it's a Bentley 123 with Forsey, the best of the other cars.
Best of the rest in the Porsche 911, and he's got Rabbit Joe in the other Porsche 911 as well joining him. So either way, it's been a Bentley domination, but it's been Porsche who's been the next strongest car, with Ferrari, with Disco, who started last pretty much on the grid, and has managed to recover himself up to P6, so he'll be happy with that one for sure. As the times are coming down, we've only got 10 minutes left of this session pretty much, as Gavlar will be on a mission to try and catch Peaceful towards the end of this race. But there's no real fight going on at the minute, and currently Matt is leading away once again to add another possible win, and adding another win for the Bentley as well. And obviously make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified for when we are live, so you do not miss any of the action here at Simplane Motorsport. And also make sure you tune in on Sunday night, as we will have the next round of the F2s as we head to Singapore for the next round of the season. A night race, I believe, or is it set in a day? We will find out. I believe it's set in a day actually at Singapore.
I believe it was set in the day. I think there was talk of it being set at night, but yeah, I don't think that that came through. Matt, what's the gap between Emo Guy and Matt? Has Matt been able to steady that gap? It's 13.6, so Matt's actually put the gap up a little. And unless Emo Guy has a massive turn of pace or Matt makes a major mistake, it looks like Matt is good for the win.
He is looking good for the win as it stands. Emo Guy, though, is trying everything he possibly can to try and get onto the back of him, as there's a couple of cars tight to one another. I think that's Dean Masaki and Lucas Roth. Dean getting right out the way of Lucas Roth there, and through he goes.
Yeah, he got right out of the way. Lucas Roth nearly ended up in the back.
As actually Peaceful Explosion is starting to gain on John at the minute, so John is going through a difficult stage of this part of the race. As Lucas...
he is indeed, and something me and Deanna were questioning when John joined the session. There's a slow car, it's Smoky Devil. Smoky Devil is very slow. I think he's run out of fuel. Has he run? He's incredibly slow. He's pretty much coming. He's at a crawl and he's on the racing line, so he needs to get off. Gavlar manages to get through.
He does manage to get through. Monkey Boy just in the background is able to clear the Porsche 911 as well. He either needs to retire and get himself back to the pits as Forzy now comes into the final sector. Is that Porsche managed to get going? No. So Smoky Devil needs to get himself either moving or off the track as quickly as he possibly can.
Yeah, he does indeed. He doesn't want to be sat on the racing line. Yeah, but much what we were saying before, as he goes back to the pits there, and he should be able to continue on. However, he has lost a position to Dean Masaki.
Yeah, he has indeed.
With John, me and the end were questioning in the party with his rating number whether he was a fan of Jimmy Broadbent.
See, I didn't know much about Jimmy Broadbent, so what, the 87 I'm guessing is his number.
Yeah, his team is team 87, so that would be one for John to clarify for us.
Definitely so, as we've got a lot of cars ganged up with one another. I think there's Lucas Roth. What else is there? There's Emo Guy and also Dean Masaki. Oh, Dean has a big slide. And once again, Emo just seems to be ebbing and flowing with Matt's lap times at the minute. 1 minute he's quickest, next minute he's a little bit slower, as Keeks allows him to go through. So that's that gaggle of cars out the way. But John losing a lot of time here to Peaceful. Peaceful's on the hunt to get P8.
He is indeed, and Peaceful can see him in front. I wonder whether John's tyres have just whether he's had a few slides and his tyres have just burnt out a little.
Possibly so, as Peaceful Explosion goes through the final corner now. What's the gap between the two? It's 3.9, so Peaceful is gaining. It was 5 seconds a couple of laps ago. So John now is starting to become under pressure from the Ferrari of Peaceful Explosion. That is your closest fight currently on track, as Monkey Boy has still got a decent gap over Forzy at the minute. Rabbit Joe is still way behind Forzy at the minute. Disco isn't too far behind Rabbit Joe, so if Rabbit Joe makes a mistake, he's going to be under pressure. Lucas Roth slowly minding his own business and got himself back up to 7th, but I think he's had a moment somewhere, because Lucas Roth has lost a little bit of time to John, but John is losing massive amount of time to Peaceful.
Yeah, and they've now got Dean just in front. 6 minutes and change left on the clock. Dean's run a little bit wide in the chicane, but he's managed to keep it on his infant. He needs to get out of the way of the bench. He's getting the blue flag, but Dean doesn't get out of the way. He gets out of the way eventually, but John's lost time. Where's Peaceful in all of this? Peaceful is just only... He's further bit around the track.
I believe Peaceful as well is in a party with Dean, so he'll be telling Dean to get right out of his way. And then you see John has lost more time, 3.2. So John is losing time hand over fist to Peaceful behind him, and Dean probably didn't help the situation out as they head into the hairpin. Dean obviously trying his very best to get out of the way as quickly as possible, but just a little bit too eager on the brakes. He lets Peaceful through relatively easy, and through he goes. But we're in the last 5 minutes here, and it's this man who leads the way. He's going to make it 2 for 2.
Peaceful's in the wall.
Peaceful was in the wall. Peaceful Explosion was on the hunt and was chasing John, and it's now gone from him. Just as we come away from Peaceful, it all goes wrong.
And Gavlar is going to be on the hunt. It's Peaceful, because Peaceful will probably going to have a little bit of damage. Whereabouts is Peaceful? Peaceful's a little bit further around the track. He got past again by D. The gap between Peaceful and Gavlar is under 10 seconds. So if Peaceful really struggles with his damage, Gavlar might be able to get him. But John has been let off the hook well and truly.
He has indeed, because Peaceful will have to try and clear Dean Wasaki once again. Peaceful goes through sector 2. What is the gap between him and Gavlar? It's 7.6, so Gavlar, I think, will struggle to make that, but he's gone wide through the left-hander there, so it's going to be difficult for him to really catch onto the back of him.
Yeah.
Matt, though, I reckon has only got a couple more laps left under him.
Yeah, he does. He does indeed. I reckon it's probably about two more laps, possibly 3. But it's been a very controlled drive from Matt. Similar to his drive at Silverstone. As soon as he got out in front, he was gone and didn't look back, and hadn't been challenged by anyone.
He's already showing off there as he goes down the main straight. It's not over just yet, Matt, as the Emo Guy does actually bring the gap down, 10.9. So one little mistake, and Emo Guy will be there. But right now, it's a Bentley 1, 2, and 3. Forzy making it P4 for the Porsche 911. P5 is Rabbit Joe. And those Porsches have done very well, though, Jamie. Both drivers seem to be struggling at first, but have really got their cars underneath them and really gotten themselves into a flow.
Yeah, they have indeed, and they Forzy and Rabbit Joe. We don't know how much they've driven the Porsche on this game, but if they haven't driven it a lot, they're learning with these.
If I've been
races.
told correctly, the Porsche is actually quite a handful on this game. On Project Cars, it's it's stable on Project Cars, a little bit loose on the rear, but it's able to be caught. This Porsche, on the other hand, I've tested it briefly on this game, and it's very, very twitchy. It's really difficult to actually master.
It is very twitchy, but I think a lot of the cars are quite twitchy.
I don't know. Before we came live, I went into this beast. I went into the Aston Martin V12, and I'll tell you what, weirdly enjoyed driving it. And I managed to get it to do a decent lap time. I think I did a 1:47.2. I think I did around here in it.
Yeah.
So it was good fun. Maybe I have to partner with PN in the future with it just to hear the roar. Oh, it just sounds amazing. Love the sound of that car.
PN just outside the top 10 as well. And he's had a quiet race, but he's had a good race.
Yeah, he has indeed. Kept his nose clean and stayed out of trouble. Matt goes into turn 1, so he'll probably get this lap and another lap. But Emo Guy has brought it down to 8.9. Wait, hang on a minute. Emo Guy's catching Matt very, very quickly here. That was what, 2 second laps?
There's a car stop. It's Smoky Devil, and it looks like he's run out of fuel once again. I know he's got going.
He's got damage.
Yeah, he's had a spin. He's got Matt coming. He's got Matt approaching very, very quickly. But I think Matt has done.
He's catching him quickly.
Yeah, although I was just told that it is the final lap of the race, so I don't think Matt isn't going to get one in after this.
Is Matt deliberately going slow though, just ahead in the race? That's the question. Matt coming into the final sector now. the final split anyway. We'll stay on board with him just in case this is the last lap. He comes to the line. He crosses the beam. Where's Emo Guy? He's just in the background, so if we do have one more lap, Matt's 8 seconds ahead, so he's managed to pick up the pace a little bit. I think he's just been trying to figure out the times so he can cross the line, not being able to do another lap. He's into the final corner, and I think we get one more lap.
Yeah, we'll get one. We'll get one more. And Emo Guy, I think, had Welshie. He's got Welshie and Smoky Devil, and we know Smoky Devil is not the easiest of customers to get through.
8.3, so he has managed to extend that gap. Lucas Roth has had a moment somewhere because John has caught him. Gavlar hasn't caught Peaceful, so Peaceful's damage isn't too bad. But John has managed to catch Lucas Roth here towards the end of this race. So Keeg's under a little bit of pressure now.
Yeah, he is indeed. And the Bentley is going to be looking for a move, but Keys is going to defend for all he's worth. What's the gap between Matt and Emo Guy? Emo Guy a long way back, and I don't think he's going to catch him. The gap is
10 seconds.
10 seconds. So I reckon Emo Guy's had a little bit of trouble with Smoky Devil.
Possibly so, as we go back to John
He's
and
had
Lucas Roth.
He just had a little bit of a wiggle there, Emo Guy. So you've got to be careful and keep up the track. But John's got the run on Lucas Roth. But Lucas Roth defends.
Goes through the left-hander, left-hand king, over they go. Is John going to look around the outside? No, he won't get the job done there.
He's gone wide.
He has gone very wide, so that's going to allow Geeks just to extend the gap a little bit. But we have to eventually go back to the race leader as he's coming through the final few corners. John looks through a chicane. He's lost time there, so Geeks will just hang on. But he's going to make it 2 from 2. Your pro champion is going to win the Silverstone race, and he's going to win the Hungaroring. Can anybody stop this man from winning? Mate Himovic will exit the final corner to make it 2 from 2 here in the ACC. Matt wins at the Hungaroring. We should go back to John and Lucas Roth relatively quickly, as Lucas Roth and John have managed to keep it stable between the two. But it's Emo Guy.
Emo Guy comes across line for second place. A valiant effort, but just not enough at the end. Monkey was still quite a way back.
There's a couple of cars racing towards the line. Not sure that is Smoky Devil and Welshie towards the line. As we move back to.
I think Welshie beat Smoky Devil, because Smoky Devil returned to the pit lane. Monkey Boy coming through the line. What about John and Keeks have finished, and Keeks kept hold of that 7th place. Keeks finishes 9th. Gavlar is going to finish 10th.
And once again, Monkey Boy with a solid drive will get himself on the podium. P3 for Monkey Boy as he'll be returning back to Pro-Am next season. Can he continue that form up in the Pro-Am? Forzy, a fantastic drive for himself. He's going to come home for P4, and you can see he's very happy with that one. Forzy will take P4. P5 will go the way of Rabbit Joe, who's into the final corner now. Jamie, while we've got the last drivers in, can you get the top 3 in for us?
Yeah.
And Rabbit Joe will take P5. He looks very happy with that one. Disco McDisco is crawling to the line. Has he just run out of fuel? Disco crawling to the line here. Obviously no one can beat him in this position as PN has come around the final corner. And I think Disco is literally rolling to the line here. He's going to finish 6th, and PN will finish in 11th place, as we will get the top 3 in as well, and also get the tables up also. But it is Mate Himovic who takes it once again, 2 from 2 here in the ACC Simplay Championship, as PN brings his car down with the rest of the order. But once again as well, Bentley have been strongest. It is a 1, 2 and 3 for the Bentley cars, and I was not expecting to say that this morning, to be honest. As I believe, Matt, have you managed to sort the tables out?
Just doing it now, Dan.
Thank you very much.
The only person I haven't been able to add is Emo Guy.
I will get Emo Guy in as well. So I hope Monkey Boy can join us shortly. As I've been told to join another party. I do not want to do that. But while Matt is in the chat, Matt, another win for yourself. It was all pretty much done and dusted in lap 1, really. Cars kind of everywhere, all over the place, and you managed to just squirm your way through. Yeah, definitely so. Obviously, down in P6, I think you qualified. So even Fury, everyone just seemed to have a little bit more pace than you. But it was all about getting through turn 1, staying clean, and next thing you know, boom, you're in the lead of the race.
So, I don't know what happened to one, to be fair. I got a good launch, got ahead of, I think it was Fury, and I got alongside Mazda, and Mazda braked a bit earlier than me. I was able to then sort of make sure I got ahead of Mazda. The next thing I know, Bossoff's faced in the wrong way. I think he's gone into the side of Emo Guy, which has forced Gavlar wide. And then next thing, you know, going into turn 2 braking zone, I'm ahead of Emo and Maz and everybody else at sort of Calamity at turn 1. It was bizarre opening corner, and then that was it. Like you said, that was it. There was nothing from behind after that.
Well, you look like also you had the race very much under control. At times, it did look like Imogo was actually starting to bring a gap down to you, and it seemed like he was starting to catch you left, right, and centre. But nonetheless, you had him covered, you had the race under control, and just seemed for yourself a bit of a dull race. Not really much going on.
No, like you say, you know, Emo Guy, great pace out here from him tonight. He was absolutely mega all night.
Green light. Go.
And you know, it was one of them where I'd had the gap from the first couple of laps that I knew then I had a good enough distance to cover him. He brought the gap down to about 5, 6 seconds by the pit stops. Jumped him a bit further in the pits. That went up to 10 seconds. I think him and Bostoff had a coming together, which brought that gap back up to 13 odd seconds, and then it was just a case of keep that gap. He was close, I think 6-7 seconds again in the end. So, you know, hats off to him about tonight. He had incredible pace, but yeah, just a bit dull from my side of the garage. But massive result for not just me, but for the Simplay Racing team as well. You know, Joe another P5 and this man a P3.
Well, you had to, I believe it's Paul Ricard next on the calendar. Obviously, the Bentley at the minute just looks unstoppable. 3 cars up in the top 3 here. What can you do at Paul Ricard?
Hopefully, get another win. Will be nice. But look, if Emo Guy's there, he's going to be, you know, on fire. Mazda misses next week; he's on holiday, and Bostoff's always, you know, always going to be quick. One thing I've got is the bonus.
Bostoff has just confirmed in the Discord that he's pulling out the championship, so you won't have to worry about Bostoff.
Wow, just Emo Guy, and that's a shame to hear. Obviously, I don't know what problems he's had tonight and last week, but for whatever reason he's pulled out, that's a shame. But yeah, look, Emo Guy, Gavlar, Fury, they're all going to be quick, and they're all going to be fantastic to race against. So yeah, bring on next week.
Well, nonetheless, mate, congratulations on the win, and we will now talk to the other 2 drivers, and we'll start with Monkey Boy. Monkey Boy, again, for yourself, a bit of a quiet race, but nonetheless, you got yourself back on the podium here at Simplay Motorsport. It's been a while since you've been back up here, but nonetheless, you've got to be happy with P3.
I know, I've got a headache, I've got a nosebleed, I don't know what's going on. It's like strange going on, but yeah, that was good. First couple of laps was interesting, sort of keeping my nose clean, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then yeah, just head down and stay consistent, really.
Yeah, definitely so. Obviously, like I said, a bit of a dull race for yourself once again. You managed to clear all the chaos that was going in lap 1. Tell us from your perspective what you saw and how you managed to just avoid the incidences.
Well, I was sort of, I didn't know which way to go, sort of. I was like, do I go inside, outside? And I thought, I'll go around the outside. And I don't know who got turned around, but I saw him coming towards me, and I was like, I've got to go left or right. Luckily, got past him, and then, yeah, it was sort of, I think I got a kiss up the bum from Keeds, but it was sort of after that, it was alright. It was like, head down, keep your head, and yeah, bring it home. So, it was good.
Obviously, a bit of a nice little break from Project Cars back onto this Assetto Corsa Competizione game. A little bit of break from that. Are you enjoying racing on ACC, and what can you do at Paul Ricard for the next round?
I'll be honest, I've never raced it, so it'll be interesting. But yeah, I am enjoying it. It's different completely to Project Cars, obviously. But yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm sort of enjoying racing again.
Well, nonetheless, mate, congratulations on the P3 tonight, and we'll see you in a week's time.
Thank you. Yeah, will do. Thank you.
As we will now move on to Emo Guy, we haven't seen or heard from him for a while. I think it was Kota was the last time we spoke with him at Project Cars. But nonetheless, Ian, it's been a good race, a bit up and down from you. Looks like the start of the race looked very good. You had the run on Bosstoff, and then next thing you know, all sorts of chaos happens on and you lose out. Matt gets the opportunity to lead the race and you never saw him again. But nonetheless, P2, you got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I was expecting for a better result given the start that I had initially. Obviously, just going into T1, I closed the door on Bosstoff, or however you pronounce his name. Then all of a sudden he decides to cut some grass.
But you've got to be happy though with the P2. Matt had already gained that massive gap. You were catching him from lap, but next thing you know, maybe one little mistake here or there. Matt's just very consistent, and you've got to be on your A game every single lap, just to make him crack ever so slightly.
Oh yeah, definitely. Matt was, as soon as he got in front, I was trying every lap just to try and bring it down. I was keeping my eye on the gap at the bottom left of my screen, or bottom right, can't remember which one it is. Just hoping that for every corner that I took, I would bring it down. But you know, whenever I saw myself getting into a good pace, something would stop me and knock me off.
Well, obviously, a week's time. Hopefully we'll see you on the grid as we go to Paul Ricard, and once we do, what can you do there? Obviously, I know you've got a lot of experience on this gay, racing in other leagues as well. What can you do there in the Bentley? And obviously, I gotta eat my own words, because even you said in the chat the Bentley looked good round here. I thought it'd be an actual handful, but nonetheless, what can you do at Paul Ricard?
It's not my favourite track. It's probably, I consider it to be the most boring track for GT3s ever, even if it's probably the one I do. But I'm fairly experienced at it. I need to do a lot better practice, given that I'm more used to the PC variant of the tyre model, which is a lot more grippy and a lot more realistic compared to the PS4 version. So I'm unsure at the minute.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations on the P2 tonight, and welcome back on the podium.
Thank you very much.
As that is it for tonight. Jamie, I believe you're possibly going to carry on racing ACC, or are you done for the season?
I think I'll come join you in the commentary. I'll say.
Well, either way, I'll ask you then, as obviously you've been with me in the coverage spot. Driver of the day for yourself?
Matt's got to be my driver of the day. He had it all his own way. He kept control of the race and took a dominant win.
I'm going to say honourable mentions to Forzy, Emo Guy, and Monkey Boy, because those guys did fantastic as well tonight, but it has to go to Matt. Very dominant. No one was going to touch him tonight, and a very good drive from him. And in the chat, by the looks of things, it's gone the way of Matt in the votes as well. So Matt is driver of the day. And that is it for the ACC. We will see you guys in a week's time as we head to Paul Ricard. Matt is leading the championship. He has 50 points to his name. Rabbit Joe and Forzy are tied on second place, with Monkey Boy and Mazda in third. Emo Guy also, Mazda and Emo Guy are tied, as Monkey Boy is in third, so really tight already in the points. Peaceful is currently 7th, with Bosstoff currently 8th. P9 is PN Motorsport, 10th is Gavlar, 11th is Fury, Disco 12th, 13th is Lucas Ruff, 14th is Slutty Apex, John is 15th, Welshie 16th, Swicker Devil 17th, Dean Stocky 18th, That Buzzy Boy 19th, Bryn 20th, Big Boy Razor 21st, and Max will make his debut hopefully next week as well. As the guys in the chat, unlucky to Disco, Gabla, I reckon he could have got P3. Either way, it's been great racing, and it is once again Matahimovic at the top of the table. Can anybody stop him as we head to Paul Ricard? But for myself and the rest of everybody here tonight, it's good night.
Cheers to my stream for tuning in. Cheers, Forzy. Congrats on the P4 tonight, mate. Solid job from yourself and everybody else who commented in the stream. Pleasure as always. I'll be back live on the Simplay Motorsport channel Sunday night. Hear me for the comms of Singapore for the Formula 2s, and then we'll probably be streaming some Assassin's Creed in between again. I'll be back live next Thursday for ACC, Paul Ricard.